Hello and welcome to another tutorial from CamiPaige Boutique. I'm Brooke Tannehill and today I'm going to show you how I made this fall leaves on an Ombre and Milky Way tumbler. As always, all the products I use will be listed in the description below, and you may even find a coupon code or two that saves you some coin. Also, come join our exclusive Facebook group where you can take advantage of upcoming freebies and giveaways that you aren't going to want to miss. So without further hesitation, let's go ahead and get started. For this cup, I am using a 20-ounce skinny with handle. You can find cups just like this at AB Design Co. You can find them listed in the description below with a coupon code to save you some coin. But I had started this cup on a live and I waited too long to where the epoxy wasn't sticky enough. So that's what that little bit of purple glitter is. But I just sanded it off and then I'm going in with a new coat of epoxy, just enough to kind of cover the surface, but also work as my adhesive. And then we're gonna start in with our ombre. Now, typically I would always paint my cups before I apply glitter, but because these are metallics, I really wanted to demonstrate how well metallics cover. So this is Figgy from Peachy Olive Glitter. It's this beautiful deep purple color. And what I'm doing is I'm covering the butt of the cup, but then also holding it down at an angle to start to cascade that little bit of purple that will be into our next color. So I'm just kind of lightly coating, making sure just to lay the groundwork for the cup. And then we're gonna come in with this beautiful orange. It's called Panem, and again, this is from Peachy Olive Glitter as well. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of starting in what will be this almost the center placement of this orange. Then I'm going to just hold it down at an angle and again start to cascade that orange glitter up the cup and then hold it down to have it start cascading into that Figgy to blend those two colors. So with this, since this is going to be a 5-color ombre, there's going to be a lot of holding the cup at different angles to get that perfect blend. But once I had my orange laid down, I came back in with Figgy to kind of blend the colors even further. Now, don't feel like a failure if you have to go back and forth several times. It's just going to mean that you're spending and paying that much more attention to your cup and getting that amazing blend that's going to make your cup that much more beautiful. The next color I'm using is called Frannie, and this is a beautiful, neutral, almost champagne-y gold, and I really love this color because it just was perfect for fall, and I thought it went so well with the other colors. But I'm doing the same thing that I did before, holding the cup down at an angle to start cascading that gold into what's going to be the next color, and then holding it down to have it cascade into the Panem. So just working my way back and forth until it's blended. And something else that's really important is if you're going for a true well-blended ombre, I really suggest using the same cuts of glitter. So all the colors that we're using are the same cut, and you can tell that they really blend together well because it is that same almost sparkle effect that you see here. Next color we're using is called Hash, and this green is so beautiful. It's earthy, it's got some amazing deep green tones, but it has a ton of color. So again, just doing the ombre again, holding it down at an angle, letting that start to cascade up and then down into the Frannie. And then we are going to top off the entire look here with Cold Brew. Again, all of these colors are from Peachy Olive Glitter, and there's a coupon code below that helps you save some coin to score all of these beautiful colors. I sealed my glitter after I did my ombre, went in with 2 coats of epoxy, and removed the tape that I had placed on the handle because I wanted to make sure that I kept the handle from getting any kind of the other glitters on them. And then I'm using the epoxy method just to take my time and apply glitter to the handle. This is Punkin. This is a beautiful mix from Peachy Olive Glitter. It just gave me all the right fall vibes. So I'm just gonna come in and cover the handle, make sure it's got it from every angle and that we've got really great coverage. And then if there's any part of the glitter that sticks to the cup, you can use an X-Acto knife and it will come right off. I went in with a coat of epoxy on the handle and over the entire surface of the cup, let that dry, and then here you can see I'm applying another, I would say probably about 20 milliliters to the surface of the cup to start moving into the next steps. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be laying down kind of the background, so to say, of where we're going to be applying our fall leaves to this tumbler. So to start off, you are going to want to have a coat of epoxy on the cup, and I'm gonna probably let this spin, depending on the epoxy that you're using, for probably about like 2 to 5 minutes, just so it sets up a little bit, because it's gonna allow you to really get the depth depth of the kind of the colors that we're going to be adding. So this is the 24 karat gold mica from Colorflex. I love it because you can see it looks like liquid metal. It's so beautiful. I actually added probably a little too much mica because it was really vibrant. So be careful when you're doing that. A little goes a long way. And we're pretty much going to be creating a V shape with our mica. So I'm going to be kind of from the top of the handle, I'm just going to create these V's down and have them meet on the other side. Now I'm just using a stir stick to kind of start to apply the epoxy, and I really want a wispy kind of effect. And this is going to, again, lay the groundwork for our leaves. So I always apply more than I want because I'm going to either take it off or kind of move it around to get the effect I want. But I'm just using a gloved finger, and I like to start off with the pads of my fingers. So I usually use my pointer, and I'm just going to start moving it around and kind of get this squiggly effect that you see there. So it really helps when you're using the pads of your fingers to guide the mica around. But then when you want more of that wispy effect, you can use a gloved finger again with like more of your fingernail, and it lifts up a little bit more of that epoxy and gives the appearance of more movement. I hope that makes sense. But just play with this until you're happy with it. There is no right or wrong, and you can see just how beautiful that gold is with the ombre that we created. Now I wanted a couple wispies kind of here and there that weren't in that line that we'd established. So you can see me just adding little like pokes or little like floofs of color here and there. But play with it, have fun. Whatever you create is going to be beautiful. Once we are happy with the mica swirly effect that we've created, I'm going to take off my glove and I'm going to grab some of my favorite chunky glitters, and we're going to start to sprinkle them over the stripe that we created. So the first color I'm going to use is Athena from Peachy Olive Glitter, and I am just very, very lightly sprinkling it over kind of those lines that you have on both sides. So you just take a little pinch between your fingers and just kind of move them back and forth, and it's just going to add more of that whimsy to this cup and for kind of the colors that we're going to be pulling through with the leaves. Then I'm going to grab the Punkin. Now this is the same color glitter that we used on the handle, and again I'm going to come over those gold swirls and just kind of sprinkle the glitter here and there to kind of give more of that effect that we're going towards, and it's really, really, really going to help pull all of the beautiful colors from the leaves into this cup. One question I get a lot is, how do you either get rid of the pooling at the bottoms of handles or avoid them altogether? To avoid them, I just do super thin coats of epoxy, but here I was a little more heavy-handed because this is a chunky glitter. But I just like to take the stone attachment. It's in like a cone shape that you can see there. This came with my Dremel, and I just use my Dremel on the medium setting and just use it at the top and bottom of the handle to just take off any of the excess of the epoxy that can be there. So this is a chunkier glitter that we used on the handle. So I'm going to come in and make sure that I spend a lot of time sanding it, because you don't want pokey bits or an uneven handle for whoever's purchasing your cup. So I just take the stone, sand at the top and the bottom so you can see there, and then I'm going to give the handle a good sanding. This is just to make sure that we get it as smooth as possible in our final layers of epoxy. So take your time. It's not a bad thing if you have to do sanding. It's actually making and showing that you care about your work. But just make sure to spend some extra time on the handle, and then also knock down any pokey bits that you might see elsewhere on the cup. I washed my cup with Dawn dish soap, and then I realized I didn't do my rim. But so here we are using my 120 grit flap wheel just to take off those kind of coats of epoxy and make sure that our final coats do adhere well to the cup. So I hit it with the flap wheel, and then I come in with my sanding block just to smooth out any ridges that might have been created. Then I will wash this again with Dawn dish soap when I'm done with all of my sanding, and then we can move into the next steps. Once I let the cup dry, I moved into a coat of Artistry's 1-to-1 fast set just to make sure that I had a nice shiny surface for the leaves that we'll be applying, because they are on the clear vinyl. So if you do not have a shiny surface, it will show when you apply them to the cup. Now, these leaves are absolutely beautiful. They are from AB Design Co. and they have a white backing. So what that means is when Ashley prints these, she prints a white ink first and then does these beautiful colorful inks over the top of them. So they'll stand out on any dark surface, which is super important because of all of the beautiful fall colors that we use in our glitters below. So what you'll do here, and you'll see when I pull it that there's the white ink, is you're just gonna cut out the leaf in the shape that you want, and you're going to start to apply it to your cup. Now, the way I like to do these is I run my finger down the middle and then I work the air out on both sides. That way you're not getting any air bubbles trapped underneath these leaves because you will be able to see them. So I will just cut out the shape like you see here, get the placement where I like it, but I start in the middle of the decal and then roll the sides out just to make sure that everything is nice and set down the way I like it. Now, pick and choose whatever of these leaves really suits your fancy. So I made sure that I wanted to leave the right size leaves on both sides of the cup since we did create both of those stripes. So here, I really like these leaves independent of each other. So I just cut off one of the leaves there because I thought it was a nice detail to add in that space. So do not feel bad if you cut up the little graphics that are there. They're beautiful. They can work independently of each other. And it's also important to make sure that you have the right scale on your cup. Now you're probably like, what the heck does that mean? It means like if you're having a lot of finer details or smaller details on your cup, you don't want to have the biggest decals or the biggest leaves all over the place. So make sure that you're choosing leaves that are all about the same scale or size on your cup because it's going to make the aesthetic completely work together. I know that's probably, you're like, why does it matter? But trust me, it does make sense and it does work when you have the right scale of the leaves on your cup. So this is going to be the last decal that I place on this side. Actually, I think I apply a couple more, but then you're just going to flip the tumbler over and start working on the other side. So again, I tried to choose other leaves that were about the same size. Now, all of these are the same scale, so don't feel like you can't use the leaves that are here on this one sheet. But I just chose some of the smaller options for this cup. I thought this one was so pretty and it really pulled from like the Punkin that we use, glitter, and then also the Figgy. So I really wanted to make sure to use it. And I wanted to start off this side of the swirl with this decal. Now, this entire sheet comes with all of these leaves, so you don't have to purchase multiple things, but you can see just how beautiful they really make this cup and all of the nice detail that it does add. I'm going to continue to add the leaves until I'm happy with all of the placement, and then I'm going to immediately move into the final coats of epoxy. To finish this beauty, it needed 2 final coats of about 15 to 20 milliliters each time. I used Artistry's 1-to-1 fast set to bring this whole look together, and then this baby was done. I absolutely love how this cup turns out, and it just has all the amazing fall goodness for this time of year. I hope this tutorial inspires you, and I can't wait to see what you create. If you have any questions about any of the steps or information, please feel free to reach out and I'll be more than happy to help. As always, thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me. If you like this tutorial, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you can see future videos. You can also ring the bell so you're notified of all future cup making goodies. Thank you again. Love you guys. Bye.